Hello my lovelies, Sean Ferrick here for Trek Culture, and I am coming to you, first of all, in my lovely Strange New Worlds cosplay, which makes me very, very happy, but also to bring you some Strange New Worlds news, because we had two trailers really quickly released back to back, and we're going to break that down for you. So, without much further ado, here are 11 things you missed from the SEÁN and Uhura Strange New Worlds trailers. Number 11. Enterprise and Shepherd class in DRYDOCK. This is going to be its own show, separate of course from Star Trek Discovery. However, we know that the Enterprise, this version of it, was introduced in Star Trek Discovery at the end of the first season. This beautiful, beautiful redesign, aided by John Eves, is just, it modernized, but also kept those classic aesthetics in view. In the very first shot in the Uhura trailer, we see the Enterprise pulling out of DRYDOCK. Behind it, we see a Shepherd class ship. Now, we know that the Kerala and the Gagarin were both Shepherd class ships in Star Trek Discovery, so that tells us straight away that there is going to be, a continuity of at least aesthetics between these two shows. Now, we already have new uniforms, which actually I'll come to again now in a second. It's just nice to see that there is a little bit of continuity now across these various shows. Also, loving the update of the bridge. It's a little bit more compact. It's exactly like you would expect it to have been in the 60s had they the budget they have now. It keeps all of the classics while updating it for the modern era. Number 10, new cadet uniform. At this point, I think CBS is just, they're kind of trolling us, and they're like, oh look, they've got the most up-to-date uniforms. Yeah, make 5 more. And it's fine. I love the new cadet uniform that we see Uhura wearing in this trailer. It's quite evocative, I think, of some of the Star Trek Online uniforms as well. Now, we know, thanks to Star Trek Picard's second season, that Star Trek Online is being embraced by CBS at this point. So there is a very strong chance that that was where they looked for inspiration for this uniform. Now, having said that, it's still very evocative of the uniforms we saw in episodes like The First Duty as well. Absolutely living for it. Gimme all them uniforms. Number 9, welcome to the captain's quarters. Pike speaks to Uhura here, where they have that conversation about, I believe you speak 12 languages. Yeah, actually 37. And there's two things in this scene that I really pick up on. One is, in fact, this reminder that Uhura is multilingual. It feels like a callback to Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Nichelle Nichols expressed a little bit of unhappiness with the fact that Uhura would have to check the dictionaries in an attempt to speak Klingon. And this has been rectified since. For example, in Star Trek 2009, this Zoe Saldana's version of Uhura was able to speak Klingon no problem. Bringing this forward into Strange New Worlds, it's already established straight away that Uhura can speak all the languages you like without needing to check any dictionaries. Now, this is all taking place in the captain's quarters. Now, it's our first shot and it's not very clear, but what has been said before the release of this trailer is that Pike's quarters is going to be quite a welcoming place, and Pike is going to cook for his crew as well, a little bit like Sisko did in DS9. It looks like at least he's having some sort of welcoming party for Uhura in his quarters, and I am absolutely living for it. Number 8. Another one bites the dust. How impressive is that shot of a Constitution class ship lying on its side on this planet? From the stills, I couldn't tell if this was the Enterprise or another Constitution class starship. Either way, it looks like it's going to need a little bit of love before it's getting off that planet. It could be any number of them. We have so many named Constitution class ships in Star Trek. We have the Constellation, we have the Lexington, the Excalibur, we have the Hood, the Defiant. There's so many to pick from. Now, obviously, it could just be the Enterprise, and haha to all the rest of you. Yeah, I don't know, smashing the Enterprise into a planet, possibly not the best way to start a series, but who knows. It does look like they're on some sort of salvage mission, though, when they get inside the ship. Number 7, Spock's glorious sideburns and words of comfort. On board a very functioning Enterprise, we see Uhura speaking to Spock in the corridor. Now, we know that going back to 1966, Uhura and Spock have known each other quite a while, but this definitely seems to be one of their earliest meetings here. Spock says to her that Starfleet would be lucky to have an officer like her, and obviously we know Starfleet is lucky to have an officer like Uhura. She's going to rise to the rank of captain. So, you know, yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. What feels almost like a little joke is that in the 60s, and particularly in the movies, there was a very specific look for sideburns. And Spock seems to have taken this to the absolute extreme. It's pushing mutton chops in the length of it. It looks like he's gone to Neelix for some inspiration here. Now, I'm on board. I'm not about to beard shame anybody. I think it looks great. Ethan Peck can rock these ridiculously long sideburns. It's brilliant. Number 6. That's not how linguistics works. In a callback to just this reference a couple of minutes ago of how many languages Uhura actually speaks, they're on board what I assume is this downed Constitution class ship, and they come up against an alien who's slightly evocative of like the concept version of Saru. And LIAN says, the universal translator is not working. Okay, Uhura, do your thing. That's not how linguistics works. And that seems to be like a bit of a joke back to Enterprise, and that Hoshi was just expected to speak every language in about 3 seconds. So I love that this little continuity of humor is crossing over. And also, I'm loving the humor that's turning up in this trailer alone, let alone what else we're going to see on the rest of the show. Number 5, the only survivor, but where is her brother? Going now to look at the LIAN Noonien Singh trailer, we see that almost from the opening of this trailer, she talks about this difficult childhood she had, to the fact where she was the only survivor. This suggests that she's in for a bit of a surprise this season. So Christina Chong is going to be playing LIAN Noonien Singh, and we know that Cameron Roberts has been cast as Manu Noonien Singh, her brother. So either we're going to get him in flashbacks, or there's going to be a bit of a surprise reveal as the season goes on. But as it starts, it seems that LIAN is going to be quite a loner aboard the Enterprise. Number 4, updated Galileo shuttle. I love how they've done this shuttle, because it's so much honoring the original design from the 60s of the Galileo shuttle, but it's also, first of all, bloody enormous on the inside, and of course it's updated. Ever since 2009 with the Kelvin Universe Enterprise, there's been this kind of almost funny joke in that the updated tech makes, well, first of all, the 2009 Enterprise look like an Apple store. And I kind of get that in this Galileo shuttle as well. It really does look a little bit like Apple designed this interior. But the exterior is so honoring of that original design, and yet still looks that it's completely within the aesthetic of this established show. We see LIAN and Spock are flying off somewhere on this. We don't know where, because they seem to be in different outfits from where we've seen them in other trailers. But yeah, okay, intriguing. Love this shuttle. Number 3, what will Spock learn from that mind meld? So, we see in the trailer that Spock is performing a mind meld on LIAN. Now, this is perhaps going to help her uncover maybe the secret of her brother or the secret of her past. Right, we're going to put that aside for a second. There's one thing. In a previous interview, Akiva Goldsman said that they were going to stick as close to canon as possible without it massively getting in the way. And this seems to be an example of that. Because in the original series episode, Dagger of the Mind, Spock performs this ancient ritual of a mind meld on a human for the first time. So, if he is performing a mind meld on LIAN, who is presumably human, although we don't know that to be fair, but presumably human, then does this break that continuity? Is this one of the things that Goldsman was referring to? Possible. We don't really know just yet. What is he going to learn? Because again, we have been told by Goldsman that LIAN and Manu do have a connection to Khan Noonien Singh. If Spock's going to mind meld with this person, this adds more questions as to, well, did he know who Khan was when the Botany Bay rocked up beside the Enterprise? It's one of those things, it's a question that demands an answer. And you know what, if it's their way of making sure that I watch, yes, pretty good technique, I'm not going to lie. Number 2, fighting number 1. It looks like LIAN and number 1 are absolutely going 90 at each other in this scene. And is there some sort of mind control going on? Are they sparring? Who knows? Frankly, I don't know which one to put my money on. If LIAN Noonien Singh is an augment, then surely you would assume that she's going to win that fight hands down. However, Number one is a complete badass. I'm not a gambling man. I hope no one gets hurt. Number one, introducing herself to Pike, but when? The opening shot of the LIGUISTICS trailer shows her introducing herself to Pike as the Chief of Security. Now this introduces a couple of questions. One is that, when is this show set? Because while LIGUISTICS has not been shown in Discovery, so she could easily be a new recruit, absolutely fine, if this show takes place after the end of Discovery Season 2. But wouldn't you assume that Pike would have a choice in who his Chief of Security is? So is this Pike taking command of the Enterprise? Is it now set before Discovery? Now, I very much doubt that it is, but that was a question I didn't think I was going to be asking about this show. If we could get a confirmation as to when this show is set, I would be a very happy person, because right now I have so many questions and so few answers. Some of these answers are sure to be given on May the 5th, when the show starts streaming on Paramount+. Now, there's no confirmed release date or release venue, if you like, over in the UK, Ireland, and kind of outside of North America. So as we know, we will let you know. What did you think of these two trailers? Let us know in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, you can catch us over on Twitter at TrekCulture. You can catch myself on Twitter and Instagram, and now on TikTok at Sean Ferrick. Whatever you do till I see you again, you live long and prosper, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.